Hi, so today is going to be going over case studies number 4 for assignment 4.2. And this was the last of the case studies. I'm going to try to do 2 minutes for each person, and we'll start with Amy. Amy she had the cold baby. So she had a baby that was 97.5. I feel like this is every single birth, and I guess it's normal because they don't, newborns don't thermoregulate their body temperature, so we're always warming up the baby. Some practices are more relaxed about this than others, and hatting is definitely not a thing anymore that I've seen recently, which is really strange. But I understand the thought and process behind it. The pheromones are important, but we definitely can swaddle a baby or something. Yeah, I've seen a lot of babies in the 96. Like, outside of the birth center, I see a lot of cold babies. And it doesn't matter if we warm up the room. It's definitely strange. But Amy, I took some other notes here. Let's see what I put for her. I did take a note here that said somebody put discoid or globular. So I had to look that up because I had never heard that reference before about when you're doing all the postpartum things and you want to feel the fundus after placenta has been delivered. Someone said you want to make sure that it is goes from flat or discoid to globular or round, which was 2 words that I had never heard before. I've heard displaced because they have to pee, but I had never heard those two. And then basically we were talking about the golden hour. And when they're riding the adrenaline wave after birth, that might be a good time to assess perineal lacerations and that type of thing. And that, I remember from that live, I took a note here that we also were talking about, if there is any indication of meconium or shoulder dystocia, then to have them not labor in the pool, which I thought was interesting because I've never heard that either. I think that's 2 minutes. She was the easy case. I feel like she just had a cold baby and we just needed to monitor her, do all the things, vitals, Apgar, watch for signs of placenta coming, and then get her out of the tub. I think she was the one that was in the tub. And then for Bess is the one that needed sutures. So for Bess, and I believe she's the one that had the breech baby too. That might have been Claire. I might have got them confused. But for breech baby, we definitely want to place the SpO2 and just know that there is a risk of hip dysplasia, and be more proactive about that because they want to put their little feet above their head. And I did know that. I've never seen it in real life, but I did know that. So that was cool to hear that. And then offering to suture Bess. And you said in the live that Bess was more likely to not want sutures because she trended toward that way prenatally. And so I think that just having that conversation of offering it and here's why, and the healing might be faster because she does have other kids, that is something that I have noticed with every single preceptor that I've had, is if they are multiples and they do still have children at home, that even if it approximates well, it doesn't matter. You still want to offer it because they are going to be more likely to get up. Now, if they have a really good support system and they are like all about the first 40 days and they're not, they want to do like 2 days in the bed or 2 weeks in the bed, whatever it is, and then there's like 2 days around the bed and then 2 days out of the bed or whatever it is. If they're very strict with that, then I could see maybe not being like as concerned about it. But yeah, that was the main one that I was thinking about with her, and then I took notes on, and just my thoughts and conclusions. Yeah. And then if she is going to want sutures, I thought it was interesting to hear somebody had commented that, you know, for active management, you're going to want, like, say Bess had active management, for whatever reason. She is going to have a placenta pretty fast after that. So then evaluating lacerations might be delayed. But in most cases, Gina, you're saying to try to get that done as soon as possible while they're having that adrenaline, which I thought was interesting. I've never heard that verbalized, but I've seen that, like, in retrospect. Now I'm like, okay, it makes sense why some births are different, and, you know, some things are offered when they're offered, because it's always different. And depending on their vibe too, like if they're feeling settled and, you know, just all the factors. And then I guess we'll go ahead and move on to Claire. Claire was the one who needed Pitocin. So for Claire, you know, I totally agree to draw and offer Pitocin. That is something that we would always do in that situation where they've lost 250 or more, or even really 200. I feel like maybe even, it just depends, but I feel like, yeah, we would offer that and then go from there. The TXA, I've never heard about that. I've never seen that. That it's really interesting that when I worked at the birth center, if we had that, I didn't know about it. I don't remember ever stocking it whenever I would stock my rooms, so that's really strange. They may have had it in a different place in the birth center, I'm not sure. But I'm definitely going to be looking into that more and doing more research on that. And just like the things that we were looking for, I thought was interesting. Someone said, when you're waiting for the separation gush, go ahead and take the pulse. So I definitely want to start doing that from now on. And then there was like another mention, I put a note here of before the placenta is born, but after the 5-minute APGAR is like a perfect window to move them from the tub to the bed or move positions. So I wrote that down. That's really interesting. I think that's all my notes. I guess just for these, they're pretty easy cases. Amy just had a cold baby. Bess just needed sutures offered. And then Claire just needed PIT offered or some other type of urotonic. So they're pretty straightforward. So I think I've drawn the conclusions on these to the best of my ability, and I will submit my 1 to 2 page paper under this. Thank you.